You want to win at debate? Master this. Ad hominem is the enemy of true reason. It's the cheap shot. It attacks the person, not their argument. Someone insults your intelligence? That's abusive ad hominem. They question your motives, not your logic. Circumstantial ad hominem. Point out hypocrisy? That's just equivoque, not substance. Don't get distracted. Argue the point, not the person. You were not born to be average. Demand real arguments. Elevate every discussion. No more excuses. Challenge, engage, rise above every single time. Listen up, because this mistake is robbing people of clarity every single day. Too often we think possible means inevitable, or likely means guaranteed. That's the appeal to probability fallacy, and it's crushing your critical thinking. Winning the lottery? Possible. That doesn't mean it will happen. Accidents happen, yes, but you're not doomed. Every choice, every outcome demands real evidence, not just odds. Want to think sharper? Start demanding proof before surrendering to it could happen. You were not born to be average. Refuse to accept possibility as destiny. You ever noticed how quickly we jump to conclusions after one single experience? Say you eat at a new restaurant and the meal disappoints you. It's tempting to think every place in this city is bad. That's underpowered generalization, drawing broad conclusions from just a tiny sample. The next time you're forming opinions, pause and ask, is my evidence actually enough? Wider samples, more diverse experiences. They sharpen your judgment. Solid understanding starts with questioning, not assuming. Careful conclusions aren't just smarter, they're fairer. Have you ever encountered someone dismissing an idea just because of its origin? That's the essence of the genetic fallacy. It judges beliefs solely based on where they came from, not their actual substance. Saying, that can't be true, it was published by a tabloid, ignores the merit of the claim. Whether praise or blame, the source alone doesn't prove anything. What matters is the evidence and reasoning behind the idea itself. Evaluate claims on their own terms, not on their birthplace or author. That's the path to clear thinking. Picture someone firing randomly at a barn wall, then painting a bullseye around the tightest group of bullet holes. Suddenly, it looks like they're a sharpshooter. That's the Texas sharpshooter fallacy, finding patterns after the fact and mistaking them for meaningful trends. When researchers pick out a town with high cancer rates or investors highlight a few successful stock picks, they may be ignoring all the misses. Real understanding comes from studying all the data, not just the clusters that stand out. Suppose you say, I think students would benefit from more art classes. Your friend replies, so you want schools to abandon science and math entirely? That's not your argument, just an exaggerated version, and it's a classic case of the straw man fallacy. A straw man fallacy occurs when someone misrepresents another's point to make it easier to defeat. Instead of discussing what was actually said, the conversation shifts to an oversimplified target. True understanding requires listening closely and responding to the actual idea, not a made-up one. Ever noticed how some people set rules until those rules point back at them? That's where special pleading comes in. It's when someone claims everyone should follow a principle, yet creates an exception without solid reasons for themselves or what they care about. For example, all liars should be punished. Well, except for me because my reason is special. The core issue here is fairness. Applying rules inconsistently weakens arguments and invites bias, making it harder to reach real understanding or trust. You ever been asked a question that just feels unfair? Like you're stuck no matter how you answer? That's the complex question fallacy at work. Imagine someone asking, have you stopped beating your dog? Replying yes or no still traps you into admitting guilt you never agreed to. These questions sneak suspicions right into their wording. To handle them, slow down and gently reject the underlying assumption. It's not just about logic. It's about keeping your integrity in any conversation or debate. Recognize the trap and you'll stay clear-headed. You've probably heard someone say, either study hard every night or you'll fail school. That seems convincing, doesn't it? This is known as a false dilemma, a fallacy where only two options are presented, when real life offers many possibilities. For example, with air pollution, ban all cars or pollution will rise. But what about electric vehicles, public transit, or carpooling? Recognizing false dilemmas helps you spot oversimplified arguments and keeps discussions open to better solutions. Next time ask, are there other options being left out? There almost always are. Begging the question isn't about raising a new one. It's a logical fallacy where the argument's premise simply assumes the conclusion. Let's say someone claims, reading is beneficial because it's good for you. That statement just restates the point using different words, offering no new evidence. Strong arguments need real support, not circular reasoning. If you notice a conclusion hiding within its own premise, that's a sign of this fallacy. Asking why helps reveal whether genuine reasons or just assumptions drive the argument. Most of us hear the phrase, everybody thinks so it must be true. That right there is argumentum ad populum, a logical misstep where popularity replaces real evidence. If 90% of your neighborhood wants a new law passed, does that alone make it a good law? Not necessarily. The truth of an idea depends on facts, not on how many believe it. Whenever someone leans only on popularity, ask for evidence. Challenge the claim, and you'll find out what truly holds up. Sometimes we trust a claim because an expert or an authority says it's true. That's called an argument from authority. When the expert's credentials line up with the topic and most experts agree, relying on their word makes sense. Think of the CDC on antibiotics. Their expertise is solid, their evidence broad. But if a celebrity claims a supplement works, or an actor dismisses health risks, that's shaky ground. Always ask, does this authority really know? And do other experts stand with them? That scrutiny matters. Ever come across a conversation where the topic takes a sudden detour? That's often a red herring at work, a clever distraction from the real issue. In arguments or mysteries, someone introduces irrelevant details, shifting your focus away from what actually matters. For example, bringing up terrorism when discussing healthcare costs doesn't address the real concern. Recognizing these distractions isn't just useful for debates. It sharpens your thinking in everyday life. Staying alert to red herrings helps you cut through confusion and focus on the heart of any discussion.